For more on this story, we can bring in Mehmet Ogutcu, a former Turkish diplomat and chairman of the Global Resources Partnership based in London. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us on the program today. If you could listen to that story which we were playing earlier, we had Turkey's president saying he believes the only reason he couldn't get the results he wanted in some cities is that he couldn't express himself to the nation. What is he referring to exactly?
Well, I mean, his main message during the election campaign was national survival. He thinks that both from domestic front as well as, quote-unquote, external dark forces were trying to destabilize and oust him, and he managed to get over that. Actually, when you look at the results, still surprisingly, President Erdogan is in power, and because we know that this local election is not going to change his position as president until June 2023, but he has done well comparatively, and despite all the expectations that there was going to be a very serious deterioration in his popularity. Still more than 51%, not only him, but also through his ally in the bloc. Because now in Turkish politics, it's very clear that unless you have a bloc of parties working together, it's impossible to achieve anything, because in the presidential system, you have to have more than 50%. So in this election, he worked with MHP, the neo-nationalist party, and this is going to change his style a little bit, because this party is going to make life very difficult for him, because party quite consolidated its power now thanks to this alliance with Erdogan. And the language of President Erdogan and his government will not be so different than what we experienced so far, because now there is a window of opportunity. There is not going to be any election between now and June 2023. That's 4.5 years. And if he changes mindset and confrontational style, then he might tackle effectively all the challenges ahead of him.
Yes, but overall he may have come out on top, but he could be set to lose Istanbul, a city which he considers the greatest prize of all.
Definitely. I mean, he already lost Ankara after almost a quarter of century under AKP, and now he's set to lose Istanbul. I mean, it's not finished yet, but all the indications show that the CHP candidate will win it. This is going to be a very big loss for Erdogan, because he's losing 3 big cities, Ankara, Istanbul, Izmir. Then also opposition regained some of the coastal provinces. So in that regard, although in terms of votes, not much change, because I don't think opposition gained much, except this critical mayoral positions, especially in the metropolitan. So this is going to affect Erdogan's power somehow, although we all say that it's not about the political landscape in general going forward, it's the local election. But President Erdogan himself turned this election into a referendum for himself. Exactly. Therefore, there will be some consequences. And he said in his post-election speech that he learned lessons from the people's vote. I hope he did, because what Turkey needs right now is a more constructive and embracing approach with a change of mindset and the governance system. Otherwise, it is very difficult to tackle heavy economic problems and domestic challenges, plus foreign policy priorities. Now, Syrian crisis is coming back, and with Idlib being attacked by pro-Syrian forces, whether Turks will attack east of Euphrates, and relations with US, S-400 missiles, and F-35, whether they will be delivered to Turkey or not, and EU membership, because this is already in the deep freezer.
But realistically, what changes can we expect to see from his style of governance?
Well, that's very difficult to say right now. In terms of economic challenges, because I think this is at the top of the agenda right now, and he said he's going to announce a series of new packages on 8th of April. But I don't think what Turkey needs is another set of packages. What is needed is that he has to restore the atmosphere of confidence and trust in governance and in economy. Because with his current mindset and the confrontational style, I don't think that the international investors or the community nor the Turkish economic actors will be convinced. So I think if he is going to have the election-free 4.5 years where he has to tackle problems on economy and democratization, I think he has to change his style. Whether this is possible or not, we have to see. But his coalition partner will make life also quite difficult. So this is going to be a quite difficult period for Turkey ahead of us, because now the opposition is holding key local power centers, and Erdogan seems to have learned a lesson. Whether he is going to practice what he preaches is the challenge ahead of us.
We'll see what happens.
The opportunity is there. The opportunity is there for the next 4.5 years. If he is smart, because we have seen in the history of his governance that Erdogan also is a political practical.
We'll see what happens, Mehmet Ogutcu. We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us on the program today.
Thank you. Thank you.